Hello, everybody. Joe Bacon Donuts here, and welcome back to another episode of Tsukihime Remake, where last time we left off, Shiki got burned to a crisp because he jumped. Oh, I unplugged my headphones because I was trying to, adjust myself in the chair and pushed right on down on the aux cable and ripped them right out of my headset. Fortunately, my headset is separate from my microphone, so that didn't affect the recording process at all. It just meant I couldn't hear anything for a little bit. But, yeah, Cheeky just looked at that blue magic fire that literally turns people to ash and is like, I'm built different though, and jumped on down and got roasted to death. You know, a bit of an anticlimax to end off this big dramatic scene last episode, but it is what it is. You know, unless this fight's just gonna be, we jump down and then it's like, we get him, and it's, woo, fight's over, but I see two dead ends in our future. All on the same choice, though, so I'd imagine they're gonna be, really, really quick ones, where it's like, dodge left, died, dodge right, died. It's like, oh, you should have gone fucking between his legs, dipshit, you know, don't go left or right, just go, right through him and under him, and be like, whoop, fucking do a cool trick. And then, you know, clearly, the stupidest choice was the one you should have gone for, dumbass. What, don't you know? Don't you know that you're supposed to do the shit that kills you, and that's how you progress, except for the times when it kills you and you get a dead end? What are you, stupid? Your first time playing with these games? I will admit that's one of my, I don't want to say pet peeves, but it's definitely kind of like, you have no way of predicting when doing completely insane bullshit that in any normal scenario would lead to your character getting brutally murdered is the path to progression, or if it's the completely obvious choice that is totally like a cognizant normal IQ person would choose to progress is actually the progression instead of being like a weird fucking double reverse red herring. It's just something you just gotta accept, that you are going to fucking die when you play these through the first time. I don't think there's a single person who could play through Tsukihime or Fate and not get a dead or bad end at all. Like, you will die. You will make some choice that doesn't make sense at the time and fuck it up. And it's like, oops, teehee, go to a fucking Tiger Dojo or fucking CL Sensei's classroom and get told, yeah, we know it seemed like the obvious choice, but, you know, it was too obvious. So, you know, it wouldn't be dramatic that way, so we had to pull something out of our ass. Don't think about it too hard when you click on it next time, okay? Okay. And then you just go back and do it, and it's like, whatever you say, man. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know why I really brought that up. I said pet peeve, not really. Sometimes it's just like material to make you hype as shit, and other times it's just kind of a head scratcher. I've kind of talked this point to death, and I have no segue, so I'll just segue into how my day was. It was a normal day. Started late in my class because my dipshits fucking aren't good at scheduling appointments, and scheduled them right at the beginning of one of my class starts, so I had to push back the start time, but I still had to be there at the same time, so I was just fucking sitting around with my thumb up my ass, doing nothing. So I'm not gonna say that, made my day bad or anything, it just made it different, which, you know, in a way, does make it bad, because I'm a creature of habit, and when my habit gets changed, I don't like it. I'm like, it's different, so that means it's bad. Make it the same, please. But it was not the same, so that threw my day off. And then what really made my day bad, though, is I was coming home. You know, I parked in my driveway, got out of my car, walked into my front door, just yawning and stretching, because, you know, I'm at home, I can relax now. And as my mouth is open, I walk through a little fucking swarm of gnats that, for whatever reasons, decided to congregate on my walkway, above my walkway, flying around, and I didn't see them because, you know, they're just little shit bugs, and I'm not really paying attention. I'm just trying to dig my keys out of my pocket while yawning, just mouth wide open, just hot, like 5 of them right to the back of my throat. So I'm just like retching and spitting on my front porch, trying to get like the bugs out of my tonsils. It was terrible. Like, I wasn't okay for like 45 minutes once I got inside. I was just upset. Like, they tasted bad. And they're like not even big bugs, you know. Gnats are like kind of fucking fruit fly sized, you know, real tiny things. But I could taste them. They tasted awful. And they're like, I could feel where they hit, like in the back of my throat, because it wasn't like, oh, they landed on my tongue or my teeth. No, it was like all the way back, like behind like the uvula and stuff, and it's in tonsils, and it's just like, oh, and it's like, I don't know if I'm like feeling one stuck back there, or if I'm just like going crazy, like having psychosomatic symptoms, because it's like a bug hit there. I can feel where it hit. Is that just where it hit, or is that the bug I'm feeling still stuck back there? And I didn't know, and I was not okay for a bit, but now I am. But what makes it less okay is that I'm recording this really late. It's like 8 p.m., which means if I go for about 2 hours, it's going to be 10 p.m., which means I'll have to go up and go to bed around 11 p.m. And because it's getting nice and cool out, it's easier for me to get up and go on my morning runs. Because the humidity's died down. That's the worst part. I hate the humidity. I cannot survive the humidity. And that means I don't get much sleep, and then I don't want to wake up to go to my run, but I know I have to, otherwise I'll be fat and ugly and no one will ever love me, and, you know, all sorts of, like, ingrained self-esteem issues from being a chubby kid in like, elementary and middle school, but then thinning out in high school, but now I'm, like, in my late 20s, and it's harder to keep the weight off just by, you know, living life on cruise control, and it's bringing back all those bad memories, and I'm like, I gotta do something, but I want to sleep because I'm a fucking adult that works a job, and it's exhausting, and I don't want to get up early to go on a run and be exhausted before I go in for my exhausting job. Just shit sucks, bro. Just like give me the fit and attractive pill that brings the hair back on the back of my head, because it's woo boy. I was looking in the mirror today, and it's not looking good. But fortunately, turns out you can get an internet doctor to prescribe you like oral finasteride and minoxidil, something like that, for like $20. So that actually helps, you know. I thought for the longest time that, like, hair regrowth stuff was just fucking snake oil that, you know, midlife crisis men buy to try to, like, turn their life around. Like, my life was good when I had a full head of hair before, you know, my bitch wife and my kids that don't love me stopped, like, listening to me and caring about me. It's like, maybe my hair's fixed, you know. My life will find some way to turn itself around. And so they just bought, you know, fucking, I don't know, caffeine with, you know, green tea extract to rub on their head, and it tingles, and they're like, ooh, it's working. Luck's my whole life. It's going back, baby. But it never did. But it actually turns out, like finasteride and minoxidil or whatever it is, I can never remember how it's spelled or how to pronounce it. It's like a lot of X's and I's and L's. It actually works. So I'm not expecting, like, oh, my hair is going to be like I'm 17 again, but, you know, just kind of fill in where it's, where I can see the scalp in the back. Because I'm okay with, like, the little spot on the crown, but it's once the middle starts to thin out, that's where the issue is, and it's not noticeable right now, unless you, like, really get up and, like, stare, which I do because I'm neurotic like that. And it's like, ooh, it's a little less there than there was a couple years ago. But again, like, I keep my hair combed over, so you can't really notice. Not for that reason, it's just how I wear my hair. But you know, that'll stem the flow. You know, the migration south. Because as you know, once you hit your 30, you get your second puberty, where the hair moves from your fucking top of your head to your back. So let's keep it on the top, yeah, and maybe kind of do a little ecological replanting up there. You know, sustainable environment and whatnot. Anyway, it's been like 10 minutes. I've found a way to rant for 7 minutes about eating bugs and me going through a like midlife crisis in my late 20s. So let's get the show on the road. Shiki, let's scope things out, yeah? Instead of jumping down into the fucking murder pit. Can't go down there now. The pit below is filled with azure flames as far as the eye can see. In the middle of all the stands, in the middle of it all, the towering vampire. You mean their stands? Okay, that's normally when I misread something, it's because I'm stupid and don't know how to like register the words on the screen in my brain. That's literally a typo. So you can't blame me for that one. So far, this one's been pretty good. Mihoyo had a lot of fucking typos. It had issues. And the way they localized some of the names, I was also not a fan of. But so far, I think Tsukihime is a more quality translation than Mihoyo was. There's still a couple things where, you know, I can hear what they're saying and see it on the screen and be like, like, that's not really what they said, but as far as the localization is concerned, close enough. Like, gets the same meaning across, so I'll let it slide. Again, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. I know we just started now, back to ranting again. As long as we avoid the fucking rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub kind of translations, I think we're in the green. Either it's supposed to be their stands, or the first "the" is just a typo, and it's supposed to be in the middle of it all stands the towering vampire. Claw, Arcueid. Angel? No, it is Angle. Be my Angle. I'll be your devil. It appears that explosion didn't even scratch him. What a monster. By human standards, he may as well be immortal. But even so... the figure in white still dances circles around him. Like a beautiful huntress darting and weaving through the orchard of flame and crumbling rubble. That figure in white is Arcueid. She leaps over the river of flames to close in on Vlad. In his hand is some crude weapon. At a glance, it looks like a long sword, but its blade is shaped like a machete. Oh, Vlad is part Brazilian? Alright. Arcueid, on the other hand, is fighting back against him with her bare hands. She's only got her legs to run and her clawed hands to strike. Yet even so, this proves enough to counter Vlav's machete. He's forced backwards after one tremendous blow. Not the fucking Brazilian McDonald's Wi-Fi Vlav on Type Luna, God forbid. The wound left in his arm is deep enough for me to see the bone beneath. But the sight lasts only a moment. By the time Arcueid slashes open Vlav's flesh, his blood is already flowing over it, preparing the gash. Arcueid warned me about this. Vampires won't die as long as their supply of blood isn't exhausted. It's just like she said. A wound fatal to any ordinary creature disappears in the blink of an eye like it had never been there. He swings his heavy blade without fear. Arcueid is careful not to overextend. Whenever she lands a blow, she quickly leaps back just out of his blade's reach. She must be wary of him landing a counterstrike. No, that's not it. Faces it all. She's enjoying the chase.
死ににくいだけがあなたの取り柄なの？27層も質が落ちたものね。 このまま奥の手も見せないで私に殺される？
Maybe you don't see it? You're the one who was just talking earlier about, oh, you know, if you have the chance to kill, you should take it. You shouldn't be messing around, you know, cutting off his arm or something. Just go for the killing blow, she says, playing around. But again, probably, you know, just a tough front because she can't get the killing blow. Yada yada, etc., etc. Lob's breathing comes out in ragged heaves. His morbidly pale skin is painted with anguish. Maybe immortal. There's a limit to his powers. Even though he appears to be unharmed, Arcueid's dive bomb must have wrecked him. Maybe even dealt an otherwise fatal blow. And in regenerating his entire body, this burns through most of his energy. Arcueid's in a similar situation due to me killing her. That sort of thing must have taken its toll on Vlav too. I take it she's thinking the same thing. So she's distancing herself after each attack, essentially baiting Vlav to move in for the kill, hoping he'll risk it all in a full-blow counterattack. The metallic ring of blows reverberates through the air. Vlav's breathing is a mess. An awful, foreboding chill creeps up my back. Arcueid's got the upper hand, and Vlav's clearly getting exhausted. Why am I feeling so uneasy, watching all this unfold? It's as if Arcueid's claws are no longer hitting him like they were before. Worse, despite Vlav's ragged appearance, his sword play, machete play, is still top-notch. It's as if he can see right through Arcueid's actions, anticipating and calculating her every move. Worst of all, he still hasn't used that flaming claw of his yet. Oh, we got a little crunchy right there, you know, zoomed in and saw his pixels. Vlav howls. The fire shudders and soars in response. It's whirling several meters high. Flames grow into an inferno that towers over the both of them. They then split into countless blazing branches. The underground coliseum is morphed into a jungle of flame. Walls of fire press in around Arcueid, blocking off her escape routes. At that moment, high above her, melting straight through the rubble, hands composed to heat stretch their fingers wide before slamming straight into her body. Toasty! In that 1 second, the tide shifted in Vlav's favor. Arcueid told me that she could withstand temperatures up to 3,000 degrees. But these flames just burn straight through concrete. It's gotta be hotter than that. Vlav stacked 3 of those fiery hands on top of one another. A strike like that wouldn't even leave ashes behind. She never had a chance of escape, and now the fire only serves to lap up its prey. That's how it ends for the woman in white, incinerated without a trace. That is, if this had happened last night. The fucking henshin? Oh, let's go. The flames part. The white skirt flutters in the wind. My gaze is glued to the scene, mesmerized by her transformation. Yeah, dudes love henshins. Did you do a cool pose when you were in there? She told me all about it. Yeah, her perennial mooning, you know, soaked in the moon's rays like the white woman she is, and grew stronger for it. I've got a plan. I'll remake my body beforehand. This black and white battle dress must be the culmination of her plan. A piece of armor that can withstand the heat of Vlav's flames. I wonder if it looks the way it does because it absorbed his flames, or if Arcueid made it that way. I think if you're trying to block the fire, you know, you cover up a little more skin, but either way, the flames have no effect on her now. The plan went off without a hitch. Arcueid's victory was all but assured once she figured out the fire was Vlav's main weapon of attack back in the hotel. Vlav assails her with more fiery claws. But Arcueid bats them away with a casual flick of her left wrist. As easily as parting her hair, she cleaves through the wall of flames, scattering them left and right. The sparks that manage to touch her white dress sizzle and fade in submission. Her golden hair streaks behind her like a shooting star. The way she moves and swings her claws now is unlike anything I've seen her do so far. Vlav is forced to stumble back, helpless against her onslaught. The difference between them is astounding. It's hardly even a contest anymore. Vlav went from hunter to hunted the second his flames were rendered useless. Arcueid is absolutely relentless, inflicting fatal wound after fatal wound as she corners the vampire. The only reason Vlav's still standing must be because he's still got some blood in reserves. But that'll run out sooner or later, especially since there's no one left in the area for him to feed off of. All that's left is that which already flows within his body. Just a few more hits like this, and that'll be gone too. He'll be starved. And once he no longer possesses the fuel he needs to regenerate, he'll be little more than a regular corpse. Gotta put my coffee pot back on the hot plate. There we go. Don't want it getting cold. It's like, no! Don't counterplay me. Just let me do my combo. How dare you make this a two-person game? Plead for mercy. Dignified, like a spoiled child. Gone is his skillful display with the machete. His swings turn wild and graceless as he haphazardly lunges at Arcueid, almost like he were trying to cast away his fears. She doesn't miss her chance to retaliate. Oh, he's button mashing. He's button mashing. The vampire cries as he leaps into the air. Getting away from Arcueid takes every last ounce of blood-fueled power that he has. He flees, soaring higher and higher, aiming past the confines of the crater. Even a 40-meter deep crater isn't enough to keep him trapped. It's likely that he intends to scour the surface for more blood to replenish his supply. Yep, baiting him to a jump, hit him with the anti-air. There we go. But ivy wraps around his legs before he has a chance to escape. It sprouts from the earth in a flash, tingling itself around the vampire with incredible force, and drags him right back into the center of the hole. The river of fire at Vlav's feet is reignited. I watch as the azure flames turn the ivy to ashes. It's not enough to release him of his shackles. New vines spring forth from the topsoil of ashes. Buddy, don't you know? Ashes actually add a lot of, is it nitrogen? I think they add nitrogen to the soil. Anyway, if you mix ashes to your garden soil, it helps a lot in whatever plant you're trying to grow. The more you know. So you're just making her stronger. No matter how many times he burns through them, the chains remain unbroken, reviving again and again like a phoenix. Even the immortality of a vampire pales in comparison to nature's infinite cycle of rebirth. These vines are that cycle made manifest. Short of burning down the entire planet, there's no way of escaping them. No amount of vampiric powers or curses can extinguish nature's breath. Yeah, just put that in your back pocket for later when we have to do exactly that, but that's neither here nor there. Arcueid dashes in his direction. Everything about her posture and demeanor tells me that she's going in for the final blow. She's already crushed every last one of his attacks. Finally, she decides to put an end to this. I'm happy to let her do the honors. She doesn't even need my involvement. Any moment now, Arcueid will crush Vlav. There's just one thing. Oh, fucking Columbo's here. Even with our victory so close at hand, my heart beats like crazy. Something feels wrong. His agony, his labored breath, tells me that things aren't as they seem. The anguish painted on his shallow face is clearer than ever. In this incandescence, he alone inhabits a different world. A white breath, out of place amidst the fiery sea that envelops him. I know that look in his eyes. One of obsession and of self-preservation. He is both the aggressor and the victim. Which is when I realize that we've made a huge mistake.
バカ、何考えてんだ、俺は。
Yeah, if you've never played him before on Type Lumina, this is his gimmick. Arcueid's victory is already guaranteed. An idiot to try and interfere now. You gotta sit here and observe. No need for me to plunge into that hellscape. Knowing that, I... call out to Arcueid. I remember what Arcueid told me. Defeating a vampire means defeating whatever special abilities they possess. The problem is that we were looking at the wrong ability. In focusing on the fire, he overlooked everything else. That's not where his true power lies.
違う、逆なんだ、アルクエイド。
I shouted her from high above. I'm too far. My voice won't reach her. Despite it all, I scream with all my might. I know what type of power this vampire wields. It's not heat, but... yeah, it's almost like he naturally produces heat to counteract something else. Oh, and it's almost like he wears a big coat because he's something. What do people put on big fluffy coats for when the weather's what outside? Arcueid pierces his chest. Blood spurts out from the wound. Flows quick and free, like a bottle uncorked. At last, his scorching nightmare is brought to an end. Lava is pushed past the final threshold. A terrible sound fills the air. It rends time and space as the vampire reveals its true form. The atmosphere crackles and sparks. The atoms that were accelerated by the heat suddenly decelerated at an unnatural pace. Electrons bounce off the ultra-cold matter, and with nowhere to go, react with the atmosphere. The blue flames that cover the ground around him were never really flames at all. They were an exothermic reaction akin to vaporization, the very earth rapidly losing heat.
本当に。
Oh, damn. An attack setup that we think is fire, but is actually, you know, cold? Huh, I wonder if that's ever going to come up again. Probably not. It's too weird and esoteric, you know? He extends one of his cold-blooded arms. His fingers are spread wide, palms open, as if craving warmth.
ここは寒い。
Beautiful huntress is enveloped in blinding light. It wasn't just the temperature that dropped. The world itself underwent a drastic change. A torrent of ice blows Arcueid away and engulfs the city beyond. Everything is frozen, from the ground in the pit below to the roofs of the skyscrapers. All in a flash. I wonder if anyone was left in those buildings. If there were people who still hadn't been evacuated, then the sheer cold would have robbed them of their heat and killed them instantly. A shiver runs down my back at the sight before me. I'm afraid to think of what might follow this. Stupid luck that I'm even alive now. Had I been behind Arcueid on the other side of the crater, I would have been frozen alive. River of flames that cover a wide area, but it also spreads slowly. Most people would have been able to outrun those flames if needed. This river of frost is something else. It might have a narrow range and follow a set path across the ground. Once it's fired, it spells instant death. If he manages to escape above ground, he'll slaughter the whole town.
アルクエイド。そうだ、アルクエイドは。
She'll buff. I desperately cling to the hope that she's still alive. She's the only one who can put a stop to this monster.
いた。
Me just making up words, but the sentence still tracks, so just ignore it. I spot her in the middle of the glacial river. Oh, thank God for Arcueid being as tough as nails. Looks like that blast of ice didn't even dent her.
そういうこと。あなたは正気がないんじゃなくて正気から逃げていたのね。三流の使徒であれ原理を持つ以上は星を打倒しうる。
Mm-hmm. Like fucking stand abilities.
おかげで目が覚めたわ。ブローブ・アルハンゲル。
Arcueid stands untouched at the center of the glacier. Blov's gaze is as cold as the ice that surrounds him. His eyes are no longer filled with the same pain and agony as before. The eyes of a hunter now, stalking his prey on the snowy tundra.
目を覚ましたのはこちらの話だ。よくも俺からここまで熱を奪ってくれた。
The hatred on his tongue cuts the air like a knife. He hasn't lost the will to fight. If anything, this is the first time I've actually seen him this motivated to battle.
そう。なら、己の幸運を感じなさい、ブローブ。本来なら目を覚ます前に終わらせていたわ。あなたを救ったのは憎たらしい殺人鬼よ。
確かに。伝え聞いた貴様の姿と今の貴様はかけ離れ
Almost like, you know, someone killed you dead.
どうやらここ一番で俺は幸運を拾ったか。
忌々しいけどそういうことよ。お互い最後の一撃を残しているだけの体たらく。どちらかが仕掛けれ
Oh
ば
boy.
どちらかが消えるだけ。
One big, you know, clash.
その前に
Whoever
最
has the
低
most
限
meter
の礼は
wins.
取ってあげる。答えよ、賠償家畜の我が霊則。その証、根の病巣、大臼のごときその穴から新たな原理をはらんだ種よ。
Let's not bring the root into this, please. Nothing good comes from that.
貴様にとって血とは何よ。
Arcueid sounds oddly dire, even considering the situation. Her question sounds like she's condemning him. Even Vlov looks like he was taken by surprise.
慎んで答えよう。俺にとって血液とは断生命の熱さ。我が凍傷を癒す霊薬。我が世界。我が原理を回すもの。しかに血液がなければ俺はこの寒さに凍りつく。
Mm-hmm. His tone belies an honest reverence as he clarifies his true nature.
思い出した。人間を嫌い、恐れ、避けようと絶海を漂流し、城を構えた変わり者。27祖の一人、ゼリア・アッヘンバウム。
Cool. That name, like, vaguely fucking tickles something in my brain.
1000年を超える原理を持ちながら子を作らずに領地を治めていたと聞いたけど、そう、つまり殺して奪ったのね。
そうだ。俺は後継者ではない。ただの騎士だ。騎士だ。
Okay. Then,
永
you know,
遠な
how
ど
do you
俺
get
に
it?
は手に余るものだ。
The vampire beckons towards his shadow with his right hand. Cool. Out of his unnaturally stretched umbra emerges a strange and massive weapon. Cool lance.
だが、ご当主にとってもそれはより不相応だ。故に奪った。 騎士として王を倒し、その王座を簒奪した。今やこの原理は俺だけのものになった。
So, was it worth it?
そう、短い王位だったわね。
強気だな。空想具現化もできぬほど弱っていない。
We don't need that.
俺と正面から打ち合うと。
いらない。たかだか使徒相手に世界と同化する必要もな
Yeah,
い。
it's too early to be dropping one of those into the story. I was reaching for my pot.
あなた程度、
Coffee.
この爪だけで十分よ。
Not the other kind, because I'm a federales, and I can't partake of that without going to jail. The corner of his lips curves into a smile. His gallant features twist into that of a hideous beast. It's a wry smile, as if to confirm Arcueid's assumptions. Accusation. Look at me just not even reading the word on the screen.
最も強き者とは先辺にして偏らぬもの。
But that is how the human brain reads. You don't look at every single word and look at the letters and be like, S-T-R-O-N-G-E-S-T. That spells strongest. How humans read is they kind of look at the sentence as a whole, like they just take like a big picture of it real quick, and then scan it, and like, okay, I recognize this word, and make assumptions to fill in the gaps of like the who's and the r's and the yets. And you know, sometimes your brain just, you know, slots in the wrong thing and you don't catch it fast enough.
貴様はまさにそれだ。そこまで衰退していながら、まだ俺を上回る余力がある。
Yeah, that's because you're a chump.
あらゆる呪い、あらゆる状況に対応する原初の位置。波の人ではかなうまい。
Yeah, almost like you'd be broken as fuck if anyone added you into a gacha game and would make all the whales roll. The air distorts. This twisted, fucking stutter on the D's, desires spur the blue haze to lower the temperature even further. But Arcueid doesn't hesitate. She's fully aware that a direct hit from Blav's strange lance could be the end of her. Yet she still charges head on. Then...
だが貴様は知るまい。
Nope.
かの領
You're
土、
brand
こ
new.
の星の一部でありながら、生きるにあたわずと除外された生命
You're from England?
権。いかに真祖の姫であろうと、この地獄に
my secret
耐えき
weapon.
れるか。
Bin knife! A flurry of ice-cold gusts spread outward from Blav. Arcueid comes to an abrupt halt and throws up her hands in front of her as if to protect herself. Yep, spam that shield button. The wind screeches as it blankets the surroundings and temperatures approaching absolute zero. And then... Ow. A giant, otherworldly spear shatters Arcueid's pure white dress. The blast kicks up a snowstorm that blocks my vision. My breath turns white as the air around me cools. Oof, owie, my bones. The blizzard clears, revealing Arcueid crumpled on the rubble, a few dozen meters from Vlav. Nothing remains of her fireproof dress. She's gone back to her original form.
怪物め、俺の槍を受けて原型をとどめているか。
They can't just, you know, use a cool spear like that and then not just like give us a name and, you know, what it does.
だが
Unless that's all in like the art book that I haven't opened yet because it has a big sticker on it saying, "Warning, this has spoilers for the story. Open it after you've read everything." Arcueid lies dead still. But Vlav doesn't approach her. Instead, he raises his hand as if signaling for something. The debris surrounding Arcueid creaks and crumbles. Beneath the rubble, the clawed hands of zombies scratch and groan as they crawl out of the dirt.
Eyes
from your grave.
女の死体を拾ってこい。その順応性、あらゆる苦しみを上回る万能の血を。
At Vlav's command, the zombies head to where Arcueid lies motionless. It's over. Our plan failed. There won't be another chance to chain up Vlav. Arcueid is gone, and the city is wrapped in the grim cold. Everyone is as good as dead. What I see before me now are the final moments before the world as I know it ends. Cold feels like razor blades on my skin. My body temperature is dropping rapidly. Even living is a challenge in this extreme weather. My brain's gears grind as the pressure in my skull rises. I claw at my chest, feeling like my heart might explode any moment now. Give myself 2 more minutes at best. The horde of zombies is closing in on Arcueid. Despite the freezing cold, the scene reminds me of the midsummer. They're like a file of ants marching towards some spilled sugar under the scorching sun. Killer. They'll tear her limb from limb, just like I did, just like you did once. Fucking shut up, Nanaya. I'm trying to think here. And I stand here, watching it all unfold from the safety of this ledge. At this rate, they'll... At this rate? Yeah, it's like they haven't done it yet. That thing is a natural disaster in the guise of a human. We never should have gone after him. It was the height of arrogance to think we could defeat him. What was I thinking? That we could stop him from killing more people? That we could solve this without any more casualties? What a joke. Never should have confronted him. We had just let the whole disaster blow over like a typhoon. At least he might have stopped at burning the city to the ground.
でも無理だ。
You couldn't do anything. You choose to do nothing. You had nothing to fight back with. You have a weapon. Pressure builds against my skull. Thoughts turn to disarray as common sense wrestles with delusion. My consciousness turns to flee. I make no move to stop it. There's nothing I can do. No way I can fight him. But she... I've done enough. Any more is insane. But she... I should run while I can. Just turn away like a normal person. But she'll die. I stare up at the sky. Tall, frozen buildings invade my view. The people inside must have died in an instant. No chance to even manage a scream. Unlike what happened at the hospital. At the hotel. What? The hospital? Hello? What hospital? The pleading screams of the people there still haunt me even now. I look over at the fallen woman. The corpses inch closer and closer to her, moaning and drooling. Even now, the river of ice continues to expand, all while the vampire watches over his domain of death with absolute indifference.
間違いない。
My head splits from the pain. At this low temperature, my heart has to squeeze and contract with everything it's got to keep my blood flowing. Everything just points to one conclusion.
俺には無理だ。
Every trickle of fear that sinks into the pit of my stomach churns and turns, coagulating into a mass of fury. It may be defective, laughingstock, stupid and naive. Because despite all of that, I still can't bear to stand by and watch this happen. I remove my glasses. I cover my mouth with my left hand to stop what remains of my precious body heat from escaping through my breath. Got 1, no, maybe 3 minutes. That's all the time I'll have until the fire within me burns out. Not that I lack motivation. It's just a realistic assumption of how long a human can survive down in that pit. Oh, and running in the cold sucks. Like, your spit coagulates, your lungs burn. Shit's awful. I scold myself as I slide down the slope. This is crazy. I'm crazy. This is also crazy. About rats? Run away if you want to live? No, it's the opposite. If I really want to live, I need to go in. This monster can't be allowed to exist. This monster cannot be allowed to roam free. If I run away, I'll die. If I run away, the entire city will perish with me. So it's clear what I have to do now. If I want to live, I need to kill. If I'm going to survive, I need to charge. I have to kill him, right here and right now, as fast as I can. My patience for this creature has already run thin. It dares to kill, steal, and live on without remorse or repercussion. Not allow it to live. Not as a human, not as a fellow living creature. As long as this thing lives, it will be my prey. I will tear out its life force by the roots. I run towards Arcueid. Zombies are about to press their teeth into her tender flesh. Remember the question she asked me earlier? Can I actually bring myself to kill? Whether they're truly human or not, can I kill something that looks so human? It's like Earth Defense Force, you know, they look just like people! As they're fucking 100-foot tall frogs with fucking mecha suit armor and like laser guns? Like, hello? Doesn't matter now. My head simply aches. I've never gone without my glasses for this long. I've never been this, objective in my thinking. In my frenzied state, I make quick note of where each death line is on their bodies. Then, I commit to memory each of my undead targets. It's offer, you eyesores. The dead shouldn't dare to prey on the living. Besides, she's my prey, mine alone. Do you even really need to aim with these guys, considering their lines are fucking everywhere? Cut through the lines on 3 of the zombies like they were butter. Each neatly splits into 3 pieces and drops down to the ground, dead. It was almost too easy. With their attention focused on Arcueid, they were completely defenseless. Don't say it, don't say it, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head! I make no attempt to touch her. I just call out to her as I kill the 4th. Roused by my voice, Arcueid opens her eyes in a daze. She pushes herself off the ground, but the toll on her is evident from her face and posture. She's come to. She's alive, though her wounds haven't healed. It looks like Arcueid won't be able to move anytime soon. She's the one who ought to be running away, not me. Fortunately, I don't exactly have it in me to get her to safety.
よし、元気だな。ならいい。できるなら援護してくれ。
援護ってあなた一人でやる気？っていうか正気？
Yeah, we just gotta get one lucky shot.
正気でこんな真似できるか？いいか、俺にとってここは海の底だ。3分しか時間はない。だから、その間に。
If you're on the bottom of the ocean, you would like die instantly.
今度こそ、俺とお前で奴を殺して終わらせる。
It's more like outer space, you know. You can survive for a little bit in the vacuum of space. It's just, you know, it'll suck and you'll die very painfully and, you know, relatively quickly, but it's not like the bottom of the ocean where it'll get compressed into a 1-inch cube, you know, in a fucking nanosecond. Knife in hand, I dash ahead, leaving Arcueid behind. I look over to Vlov, quickly calculating the distance between the two of us. About 40 meters. 6 seconds before I reach him. Still hasn't noticed me yet. 3 more seconds. I can't waste any more time observing him. Gotta end this with one final blow. My body is already suffering from hypothermia. Got 3 more minutes until my mind and body shut down entirely. But I have, at most, 1 minute before my body starts to falter and I can no longer move freely. That's plenty, though. Just don't take off your clothes, Shiki. Because if you guys don't know, one of the final symptoms of hypothermia, like one of the final stages, is you get delirious, and instead of feeling cold, you feel like you're burning up. So, rescuers will usually find someone who's recently died of hypothermia, like, entirely naked out in the snow. Because in, like, a delirium, they just take off all their clothes. Because they think they're really hot all of a sudden, and they just can't think straight anymore. So they're like, ooh, I gotta get out of this fucking warm coat and pants and t-shirt and underwear. And then they just fucking end up face down, ass up in the fucking snow and die. So, the more you know. I can already see the lines that'll let me kill him where he stands. Just don't cut the coat. I don't think he'll die if you cut his coat. He finally reacts. Shifts his gaze towards me with all the disinterest of a man about to wave off a bug. The gigantic lance that he used to skewer Arcueid is gone too. Which makes sense. I'd be worried if it wasn't. In Vlov's eyes, I'm nothing. Might as well be one of his useless zombified minions. He sees me as no more than Arcueid's incompetent bodyguard. I stay in his spear when he could just as easily crush this insignificant human under his boot. Gives us our chance. All I can do is catch him by surprise. He already spotted me, so getting him from behind is no longer an option. Unless you just pull a quick, look over there! And he turns and you can just get him. That doesn't mean a surprise attack is out of the question. He doesn't know about my eyes. He'd never fathomed that a mere human could possess the power to kill an immortal vampire with a single strike. 2 seconds. It's my only chance. My one shot to cross the boundary between life and death. Focus. All I need to do is dodge his first move. As long as I can do that, then my gamble will pay off. I'll be able to cut through his lines. 1 second before I reach him. Just as I'm about to get within slashing distance, we both jumped back from one another at the same time. Never even got within each other's reach. 2 factors brought us here. First, I made a misstep. The cold air concentrated around him prevents me from getting near. The closer I get, the duller my body and mind become. At the speed I was going, I would have lost consciousness as soon as I was within 2 meters of him. One more step, and it would have been over for me. I've lost the element of surprise. Just as impossible to sneak up on Vlov and kill him. But I can live with that. Failing to ambush was something I had accounted for. There's one other problem, though. Problem far more deadly. That bastard. My rage throbs behind my temples, mixed with the headache from going without glasses for so long. Still can't believe it. Someone managed to read me. Must have some kind of intuition. Primal instinct to survive that which would put any wild animal to shame. Should have had no reason to fear me. He somehow sensed that I have some method of killing him. In that perilous instant, he recognized me as a threat, leaping away without another moment's thought.
なぜ俺が引いた?
I jumped back around 2 meters. But his retreat was on another level. He must have pulled at least 30 meters back. I suppose 30 meters must be the minimum safe distance for a vampire. Almost hilarious just how different of a scale we operate on.
なんだお前はなんだ
You took the words right out of my mouth. My luck has quickly gone down the drain. Never let me close this gap between us. I've recognized that I won't be able to take him down. Whereas he's figured out that I possess a way to kill him. From here on out, it'll be fucking playing footsies.
お前はそこで死んでいろ
Both just scooting in and then immediately backdashing. A long-distance massacre. Quick, spam shield and then hit the button that lets you teleport behind him. Cold air condensates, forming icy objects in midair. Sharp as spears. And, like bullets, they fly, targeting my skull. Do I dodge? Or do I try to take them? Should I waste my weapon here or continue to conceal it? The decision is made on instinct. The headache wrings my brain like a wet towel. My eyes hone in on the instrument of death, the focus being adjusted on a camera. The lines. Spears of ice, their inertia. The very bonds holding them together will be killed right in front of me. Death takes aim at my temples. I align my knife with the projectiles. Humans were once feral beasts too. We're still host to an acute reflexes and instincts we had during that bygone time. It's also why you can wiggle your ears, or some people can. It's a vestigial muscle for, adjusting your ears to, hone in on sounds. I can't wiggle my ears personally, but I can feel those muscles tense. Like, if I'm sitting in my sunroom and I, hear something outside that's, in my yard, I can feel the muscles, on my ears tense up, and I can feel them trying to, go up, but they can't, because they're my ears and I don't have that ability to wiggle them. It's a very strange feeling. As long as I'm free to move my body as I wish, these icicles are no deadlier than a pea shooter. However, I've used up my only shot at a surprise attack. His eyes tell me everything I need to know. He saw what I did just now. He knows what you are. He doesn't have to understand how I did it, but I'll never get close enough to do it to him. I've lost my only avenue at victory. Should I really have shown him my trump card so soon? No, I shouldn't have. But it's not like I had another choice. I had to play my best hand in order to survive. I just have to find something that can make up for it. And fuck it, we'll do it live! I limit myself to only the most necessary movements. Even if I can't get close to him, I should at least try to conserve my energy. There's only 2 more minutes till I hit my limit. My fear is cast out by excitement. And in the battle for survival, my perspective on life and death gets turned upside down.
奇跡の類ではないしかし常識ではない俺の渇きを水のように通すとはどういう理屈だ
Fucking just assume magic. There's a brief lull in the onslaught of icicles. He hones the waves of cold air into singular points, creating a maelstrom of ice.
死がただ死ねあまり俺の胸を躍らせるな
Frozen javelins are launched in my direction as if from a trap thrower. I slice through each of his icy bullets. With Arcueid behind me, I've got no other choice but to cut down every projectile he throws our way. It takes about 1.5 seconds for his frozen spears to close the distance between us. long as I'm able to move my body, I can continue fending off his assault. But in the meantime, I need to come up with a plan. I mean, that's actually it's not terribly fast, you know? It's not like instantaneous at the very least. Lov hasn't moved an inch. Why? No reason for him to hold back now that he's recognized I'm a threat. Which leaves me with a hypothesis. He's frozen in place not because he thinks he can finish me off from afar, but because he can't move when he's in that state. Arcueid has cornered him already, leaving him without blood to fuel him. His freezing aura that surrounds him is more like the final defense mechanism of a monster on the verge of death. It's a wild theory, but it's one that fits the present situation. Trapped and unable to move, Lov desperately throws accursed icicles every which way in order to cling to life. In the end, it doesn't matter if he runs hot or cold. All creatures ultimately perish when in his proximity. If I were within 10 meters of him, I'd freeze to death in 2 seconds. I'm gonna collapse in no time. I'll meet my end like a lost traveler on a snowy mountain, doomed to drift off to sleep and never wake again. When a human's body temperature exceeds 43 degrees or drops below 34, brain cells start to shut down. I can't lose myself in the details. I have to look at the broader picture. I cannot let my thoughts distract me. My duty is to slice my knife through whatever comes my way the second I see it. I do have to revise some of my earlier assumptions. Yes, the cold he emanates spreads out in all directions. But after a closer look, I'm not certain the density is uniform all the way around. The ground seems coldest. That must mean there are temperature disparities in the air around him. If he has a weak point, that's where I'll find it. Well, yeah, cold things drop, hot things rise. It makes sense the cold would accumulate down low. The Zerd may act as an all-encompassing barrier. That does make it impenetrable from every angle. Yeah, Blob has weak overheads. Just jump in. You know, he's doing projectile spam on the ground and neutral, so yeah, just jump in, dude. Lov draws the lance he used against Arcueid from the shadows once more. As he does, a large tree of ice crystallizes in the air behind him. Oh god, coffee, save me. In the air behind him, its branches extending in all directions. Ooh, neat. What a pretty crystalline structure. His attack interrupts my analysis. I focus again on intercepting his projectiles. There's no way I can kill all the icicles this time. I'll have to take a hit. No, I can't let that happen. It's too soon to give up. I can't afford to take the slightest graze. Bleeding here would be death. The unforgiving cold would strip me of life before the minute was out. I have no option but to kill. One way or another, I must. I reboot my consciousness and see the lines. Only the lines. One by one, I take note of my prey. 26 in all. I devise my plan, plot where to move, where to slice and kill, and where to dodge. At the center of it all, I see it. Ugh, right in his throat. That which far transcends all of the lines of death surrounding it. A perfect point from where all the lines are born. A place where death converges. The wall of death closes in on me. Just now, I saw it. A glimmer. Just as I'm going to die here. So too does the possibility exist of him dying. But I've already reached my limits. Shikitono's out of ways to ensure his survival. icicles rip through the flesh of my left thigh and the right side of my abdomen. Precious heat is robbed of my extremities. My ligaments scream as each sudden stop chews away more muscle fibers. The cells within are instantly destroyed by the ultra-cold temperature. My fingers grow numb. I can barely move my limbs. This is it. Chance at victory slipping out of sight. Whether he finishes me off or not, I'll be dead within a minute. If Flav, or Arcueid, or anyone else were watching me now, they think the same, I'm sure of it. No one believes it more than me. Then why? Must be some primal animal instinct. Is it that you're smiling during all this? Oops. An icicle strikes Arcueid in the face. Oh, fuck. I forgot to account for Arcueid's position behind me. Looks like it only managed to graze her, but she has one hand over her face, rubbing the spot where she was struck. She'll live. What kind of person takes a hit to the face and comes out with barely a scratch? We're reminded once more of just what a monster Arcueid is. She buries one hand in the ground and pulls out a massive slab of earth as easily as someone might dig through sand with a shovel. Then, as if to rebuke Flaw for the pain he caused her, she flings the rock in his direction. Oh, you couldn't have been helping out before? But he demolishes it just as easily with his lance. Still not a scratch on it. Makes sense that he wouldn't be killed by rudimentary weapons. And yet, after seeing Arcueid's counterattack, the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Finally, I've gotten something I can work with. I can kill him with one blow, but to do that, I'll have to strike him before my body shuts down from the cold. How though? My legs won't carry me the distance I need to in the span of 2 seconds. Need something faster. Yeah, a fucking fastball special. To maximize my chances, I'd better approach him from an angle where the cold is thinnest. I can't use my legs to do that. Got no other options. At this rate, I'll die anyway. No longer a question of if I can do it, but how. Brace yourself. There's only one way to get close enough, and that's by... Okay. We'll come back to the other two obvious dead ends. Because throwing would be like, oh, let me just throw my knife at him, and then plinks, he just bats it away, and it's like, well, fuck. Pulling, I don't know what that is. Like, what, you got, like, a fucking scorpion chain on your knife? You know, you're just gonna hit him and be like, get over here! Like, we'll keep the momentum of the scene going, okay? And we'll hit those dead ends at the end. Taking flight. I suppose it'd be more accurate to say falling down. But can I actually pull it off? The whole thing would be down to luck. Already aware that there's no way I'd come out of this venture unscathed. For one, the impact of the landing alone would break my bones and turn my muscles to pulp. Would you be able to bear such agony? I narrowly sliced through the projectiles as if I were cutting through my own hesitation. Those were a little too close for comfort, but I gotta thank him. That last shot has opened my eyes. I just need to take whatever pain that comes my way. I've never been particularly susceptible to the sting of death to begin with. From now on, I'll tune every last thought to the prospect of killing. I have no doubt that Flav is already doing the same. I turn around and run towards Arcueid. But doing so depletes me of my last reserves of energy. I couldn't take one more step if I tried. My enemy's 50 meters away from me. But that's fine. Horizontal distance doesn't matter here.
Arcueid! さっきのあれ、もう一回できるか?
あれって何？
Yeah, projectile spam. I quickly explained my plan to her. It's a short explanation. She views me with total bewilderment, but something about my expression must have convinced her.
その規模でやると私の余力もなくなるわ。それでもいいのね。もう逃げることもできないわよ。
Yeah, it'll look cool as fuck. I nod, indicating I've already accepted the consequences. I don't even have the energy to talk. And I'm honestly shocked Arcueid was still considering the possibility of escape.
あれ？でもそれって式は途中で落っこちない？
Nah, like throw us with a spin for like stabilization, so that way, you know, the drag is lessened.
私そのあたり加減できないよ。
そりゃ落ちるに決まってるだろ。
Oh, fall off, not in like speed, but you know, he's gonna stand on like a chunk of rock. Gotcha. Even though I was supposed to catch my breath, I can't help but yell before getting to my plan. Which is when? Just like bind him to with some ivy or something. There's no time to explain. Lava's already sent another merciless storm of spears our way.
いいから全力で手を抜かずやってくれ。やりすぎてもいい。お前に殺されるならそれはそれで本望だ。
I don't have time to dance around the issue. I take my eyes off Arcueid and focus on our enemy. Behind me, Arcueid perks up in response to my order.
任せて。私が指揮を勝たせてあげる。
She's like, oh, killing you? Yeah, that sounds fun. I crouch down in front of Arcueid. There, I press my knees and palms flat against the ground. Ooh, I feel like they would just stick. Especially with the blood on your hand. Owie. An unseen arm runs beneath the surface. Arcueid unearths another slab of rock just like before. Oh, it's on a whole different scale this time. The entire terrain crumbles and shakes as she loosens a massive swath from the ground. It's an explosion of soil, a veritable upheaval of the ground. The rain splinters into countless pieces. If Vlav's cold is a blizzard, then Arcueid made a tsunami of earth. Even Vlav's deathly icicles are but droplets splashing against a tidal wave. Soon, the 50-meter-high wall of earth will crash into him with a full force of 7,000 tons. Yet the knight doesn't flinch in the face of the looming calamity. He pierces through the wave of gravel with a thrust from his steel lance. Between the falling debris, he must have noticed. Arcueid, having used the last of her strength to pry apart the bedrock, was now on her knees. And that the imminent threat was nowhere to be seen amongst the earth and sand. Staring down the towering wave, his instincts returned to him. To be precise, they had returned 2 minutes prior, when the lone human forced him to retreat. That which he had thought was forever lost to the cold was rekindled, and he found himself regaining a semblance of his sanity. This human has the means to kill me. I know not how, only that he does. The lingering instinct of a man once whole. The intuition of a warrior honed and tempered during the Dark Ages suddenly broke free of the curse plaguing his body. The deep-seated pride of a knight, up over a mere 2 decades, had won over the madness of a millennium. He understands all too well that this is nothing short of a miracle. But such things are fleeting. This delusion of a mind will end once he kills the human. It will regress to being a dream of the dead, never to see the light of day again. In a matter of moments, the human joy he finds in the thrill of the fight will be buried in a haze of frost. And that's why he intends to relish the development. He understands the enemy's intention. Unmask his approach using the debris as cover. He's seen the human's weapon. He knows it can cut through things. Surely, the human will use this wall of dirt as a door, bursting through it and encroaching on his territory. Oh, he just does have bad anti-airs, I guess. He readies his lance. A wall of dirt towers before him. Under normal circumstances, he would shatter the wall, and his concealed foe with it. No need for him to adapt to the enemy's tactics. His preferred method of warfare has always been to offer no quarter and crush all resistance. He has plenty of energy remaining, and his people worth of the finest blood. Yet the vampire remains obstinate.
それはできない。この魂を消費することだけは決して。
Why, is it a pride thing, or are they, like, important to you? This is warmth. In order to burn, you will preserve this blood for all eternity. It does not mean to make light of the human. He has already realized that the foe he faces is an outlier. He is more than aware that if the human gets too close, it will be the end of him. Yet, there are things even he's unwilling to relinquish. Fully aware of his own heedlessness, he thrusts his lance forward using 50% of his remaining power. The giant wave of debris breaks apart immediately on impact. But that only takes care of the rocks in front of him. The blow ensures his immediate safety, and nothing more. He knows that it will do little to his foe. He knows that the enemy will come for him. No matter the cost, he will come. Unfortunately, there are limits to the human body. There are human body to the limits, yes. There's no way of passing through this rain of debris. Even with the true ancestor princess on his side, some things are impossible. The earthen wave breaks and the downpour ends. So will the life of the human. As long as he can find the boy, an ambush is impossible. Lava opens his eyes. They're equipped to peer leagues into the distance. But he finds nothing. Not even a glimpse of the shadows creeping away. Could he have actually managed to kill him with that mighty blow? No, his foe would never die to something so simple. He chastises himself for thinking so highly of the enemy, yet a deathly cold chill runs down his spine. For a single second, he allows his mind to drift from his foe. He knows that the enemy will come. Yet, if he is nowhere to be found, the knight's premise must have been faulty from the start.
Mitsuko!
The vampire looks up at the sky. There, he finds his enemy illuminated under the moonlight. Yeah, like I said, just bind him down with the ivy. The pale blue ghost lights of the mystic eyes of death perception bear down upon him. Arcueid's aim wasn't just to blur lava and debris, to bury lava and debris. It was to lob this boulder into the air. The one I was strapped to, part of the vampire's view, and more importantly, above the reach of his cold. Now, like I said, cold things are dense and they fall. 30 meters below me, the tidal wave of Earth is demolished by lava. What remains is just him, me, and the vast open air between us. I steel my nerves as I re-visualize the outcome. If I manage to do this, Shikitono will lose both his legs. Even if I survive, I'll never walk again. The certainty crystallizes in my mind's eye. I don't let that bother me. If I can brace long enough to survive the next 2 seconds, then the result will be well worth it. It took him only a second to find me. While I admire his speed, being 1 second too late. Yeah, but you're doing exactly what I said, because I'm not fucking stupid, Ark. Unlike you.
そ そりゃ落ちるに決まってるだろ。だからお前が俺に道を作ってくれ。
I guess that works too. Floating rocks fall into place like puzzle pieces. A hastily constructed slide connected by ivy. We sit on the same coordinates, with only the air between us. Well, it may be the same X and Y, but clearly not the same Z if you're above him. I calculate my chances of survival. Before I get started, I confirm my target. My route is plotted. A one-way path, 30 meters in 2 seconds. Well, that's gonna hurt.
ショータイムだ。吸血鬼。
My descent begins. I plunge down the slide within the maw of death. I've given up on reacting. I can only make my decisions one at a time, 1 second at a time. In the 2 seconds leading up to my touchdown, I focus on 2 factors. Every decision I make could end in my death. When faced with such a scenario, I must concentrate on where my chances of dying are particularly high. I visualize every point that could lead to certain death. Only 2 such exist. Elsewhere, my chances of survival lie around 10%. I don't need to worry about those. 10% is more than enough. The problem lies with the ones that have a 0% chance. A scenario where I die, no matter how deftly I perform, no matter how careful I am. Which is why I must do everything I can to raise those odds from 0 to 1%. I need to sharpen my senses if I'm to overcome these 2 obstacles of death. I don't have the luxury to allocate them anywhere else. As I drop down, I no longer have the capacity to plan ahead for anything else either. But if I'm wrong and there are more than 2 points of certain death, I can't even fathom it. If there are, then it's already over for me. I don't have the strength to avoid 3 of them. That would mean his power exceeds my wildest expectations. Icicles appear in the air behind him and shoot forth at him, as if to smother their prey. They close in like the jaws of a beast. Terrifying, but I'm beyond caring now. That fear amounts to nothing more than a base animal instinct. I'd seen this coming from a mile away. The thing I feared would kill me. 10 meters. I've passed through the first obstacle. Every last one of my nerves is on fire. My muscles are tuned to perfection. I rapidly twist and turn my torso. Even though it shouldn't have been impossible for me to change the trajectory of my descent, I managed to somehow do it after calculating the angle of his weapon. A metallic object narrowly skims the air beside me. 0% gamble pays off, and I manage to avert certain death. Only 1 second before I land, my victory is out of moves. Both obstacles are determined in the span of a second each. Now I have to kill him before my insides are pulverized by the impact of the fall. I don't care what'll happen to me afterwards. At this moment, all of my focus is on piercing his line. But if he were to have one more move up his sleeve, something outside of my predictions. No, there's no time to think, no time to avoid. Even if I could change my trajectory at this junction, I wouldn't waste my time on it. Time for thinking is over. If I'm gonna die, that was decided the second I started my descent. It's fine. If my brain is to be skewered by ice here, I doubt I'd even register. Thanks, CL. Second obstacle. Negative 100 degree temperature that defies the laws of nature and stops the human body in its tracks. My impulse to brace for landing, and even my concern for the sanctity of life, are left behind in the skies above. Kinetic energy courses from my thighs through my hips, and my hips up to my back, and from there into my right hand as I swing my knife down. Now that the motion has been set into action, there's no way of stopping it. I'm a killing machine fueled by inertia. All my brain needs to do is locate the lines. The center of it all, I see a light. A vortex of swirling atoms. Certainty of life's eventual end. A place of pure death that pulls everything inside like a black hole. My brain may have cast out all rational thought, but it still comprehends what it's seeing through sheer instinct. The lines are what brings death to life, and this core brings death to the origin of its existence. At the end of the universe, where any creature, be they monster or mortal, can be killed with a simple stab. Can't say I care much for the sudden revelation. My entire body trembles with emotions that run far much deeper. Having used his lance already, Lav unsheaths his machete. Realizing my aim, the vampire readies for another counterattack. His final move in this game against the underhanded opponent like in myself. Try the whole sentence again. This final move in this game against an underhanded opponent like myself. This man is the real deal, a shining example of his kind. I don't know or care where that bar is set for vampires, but he's a killer through and through. I can't help but despise him. When he was sane, before he was a vampire, I'm sure he was a knight worthy of envy. Even if not a shadow of that man remains. But he will never get the chance to bring his blade against me. I turn, dodge, then twist. My eyes trace his core. GG, easy, no re. In an instant, the surrounding temperature returns to normal. The cold wave disappears along with its master's life force. But the man still remains upright at the center of it all. Dazed, the vampire speaks to himself.
この傷は知らない。この喪失は思い出せない。この言語化できない大気の肌触りはいつか失った何者か。
Yeah, it's not really fair. You got fucking cheated on. Like, there's no way to counter that. Don't know what he's saying. Don't even know the language he speaks. His tone is gentle, like that of a poet extolling spring.
痛みも寒波も感じない。恐ろしいが懐かしい。これではまるで僕は死人になったようだ。
Yeah, it's surprising you're still able to give a little monologue, considering, you know, assuming those points are like the fucking connection your soul has to the root, you know, the fucking source. That by cutting it, you sever it, and then it's like you no longer can exist in the worlds because you don't have a connection anymore. So it's like, is at least my interpretation, you know. Don't get on me in the comments if it's like, oh, no, clearly, you know, if you read fucking Grand Order, you know, materials number 17, they talked about how Void Shiki, the fucking points of death, yada yada. It's like, shut up. Doesn't matter. I was close. My body drops backwards onto the ground. But my heart and lungs cry for joy, as finally, At long last, I begin breathing normally once again. I can't move either arm. I can't even tell whether I'm still holding my knife. All I can be sure of is that the throbbing in my body and rapidly fading consciousness. Blessing in disguise, my pain is overtaken by numbness. It was like the bones of my left leg, which I landed on while falling, were carved with a saw. Normally, the pain would have me seeing stars. But right now, I can't feel a thing. Yeah, shock is a magical, chemical in the body. It's great.
でもくそ
When it starts wearing off is when shit hurts bad. The miserable words pass my lips, even though I will them not to. I don't get any joy from having survived. Don't even feel pride in having done some great feat. It wasn't a miracle. It was nothing. After all was said and done, I just charged at him with every emotion I possessed.
月
A solitary crescent moon sits high in the night sky. How odd. Feels familiar somehow. I saw something like this in a dream once.
大丈夫四季
You mean the moon seems familiar? Yeah, it should. It's up there every night, dipshit. You can even see it during the day sometimes. Arcueid strolls over as if nothing had happened.
まあ生きてはいる
Yeah, not for long though. You got any more of that fucking duct tape on you? We gotta patch me up quick. I feel more dead than alive though. Even talking hurts like hell. But you're not gonna hear me make petty complaints while I'm still alive.
もうそんな謙遜しちゃって新参とはいえ四季はその一人を殺したのよ
Yeah, it's real impressive.
もっと胸を張ってもいいのに
Arcueid seems to be happy on my behalf. Even I know that killing Flaw was a significant accomplishment. Yet, it's not like I actually did anything. His ice has already decimated the city. The body count will likely eclipse the massacre at the hotel by hundreds, if not thousands. It's all my fault. It happened again.
死んでないよ
Huh?
ブローブの呪いなら全部私が防いでおいたんだし
Oh, okay. Hand wave it, sure. No one died?
どういうことだそれ
I try to fling my body upright, but my left leg screams from the motion. I find myself still on the ground, wincing in pain.
ほらほらちゃんと横になってないと
それより
Yeah, and you should, elevate my legs,
説明し
because
てくれ
he's undoubtedly going to go into shock from this, and you need to get as much blood to the core as possible.
死んでないって本当に
ええブローブの原理が暴走した時できる範囲を
Oh, okay.
対流膜でコーティングしておいたの四季がブローブを殺すのがあとちょっと遅かったらフォローできなかっただろうけど
Yeah, hand wave it, fucking talk magic mumbo jumbo to me, whatever. You snapped your fingers, said hocus pocus, and now everyone's safe. Gotcha. Well, except for the people that, were caught in the fire and eaten by zombies. They're kind of toast. Can't help those guys. Arcueid casually admits to having done something insanely overpowered. My mind flashes back to the fight. Arcueid had paused abruptly just before she was hit by his lance. Does that mean she didn't do that to protect herself, but to protect the entire city? Come to think of it, it's kind of strange that I survived the initial blast of ice at all. And I was able to keep breathing even in those Arctic conditions. Arcueid must have ensured that the rest of the town was able to do the same. And because of it, that happened. This entire time, I was only thinking about myself. Meanwhile, she was selflessly protecting the city, even when she knew it would leave her at a disadvantage.
なんでそんなことを
Because you'd complain and feel bad if people died.
お前人間なんかどうでもいいって言ってたじゃないか
It's strange wave of anger washes over me as I shout at the space case standing next to me. I was like, what? Space case? Been a while since I heard that one, bud. You sure we're in 2015 now and not in fucking 99? Arcueid raises her brow curiously.
だってシキがそうしてほしいって言ったんだもん。
Oh. I said something that idiotic? Seriously? When? Where? Don't tell me she did it because...
なんかお前は別だって血を吸ったことないんだろ。ならいい。吸血鬼だろうとなんだろうと俺たちに手を出さないでいてくれるならそ
Oh,
れでいいん
even
だ。
as collateral? I can't believe it. As long as you don't lay a hand on humans. She followed that? Even though she might have lost her life in the process if anything had gone wrong? And laugh at the bizarre reality of it all. If anything, I'm more dumbfounded than ever. But more than that, I'm incredibly grateful. I close my eyes. If what she says is true, then I suppose it's fine for me to rest now. My chest, which had been filled with nothing but regret, is now overcome with relief. My consciousness starts to fade away. I forget all about the pain in my leg as I slip into a deep, dreamless slumber. Not a slumber, gotta say the L. At least, I try to. But Arcueid hits me over the head with a loud thwack, forcefully pulling my awareness back to the land of the living.
何のつもりだ。
ダメ。そんな傷で眠っちゃったら起きてから余計苦しいでしょ。眠るのは傷を塞いでから。その方が効率的よ。
Alright, let's go to the fucking stationery supply store, you know, get some fucking staplers, some staples, some tape. You know, will fix me right as rain. Oh, she's right about that. Who's the one who told her that in the first place?
アルクエイド、本気で忠告していいか。
何？
あのな、あんまり無茶言うな。
Yeah, humans aren't as tough as you.
バカ女。
This dude's got like a constitution of 8. This is the end. For that, I burned through my very last reserves of strength. My consciousness is already in a distant place. I can hear Arcueid making some big fuss in the back of my mind, but I no longer have the energy to open my eyes.
ちょっとシキ、本当に眠っちゃうの？
Yeah, because I'm tired. Tired enough to drop dead right on this spot. I'll wake up again tomorrow, I promise.
本当に本当？それきっと痛いよ。治さなくていいの？起きたら間違いなく失神するよ。
You're so loud. We're going to sleep so you can do whatever you want.
そういうことなら早く言ってくれればよかったのに。
Oh, you're saying that out loud. She sounds bright and cheery. Her tender fingertips feel cool against my already ice-cold skin. It's nice, soothing. Light replaces the fatigue inside me.
戦利品？っていうか、その死骸？
What?
まあいっか。ちょうどどこに捨てようか困ってたものがあったんだ。
What, the spear? Gonna stick it in him? What was that squelching sound?
何今の感触なんか塗ったのか今
You like fucking reduce it to like magic paste and you're just gonna rub it on him and be like, yeah, this will fix you up.
うわいた痛覚戻ってきてる
Did something happen like that with Nero? I feel like that's a thing. Like he just kind of turned into primordial goop and Arc just kind of like, oh, let's just smear that all over your wounds. It's like just exists as primordial soup. So, you know, there's like no will to it anymore. So as long as we just rub it in, it'll fix you up.
めっちゃ痛いいやかゆいつか怖いお前一体
Just as I'm about to lay into her, suddenly hit with a tremendous sense of emptiness. Perhaps my shouting burned through my last supply of fuel. This time, now I'll fall into an uncontested slumber.
大丈夫、悪いものじゃないわ。そげた肉の分だけならこれで塞がるわ。
Just magic goop.
でも、骨ばっかりはちょっと無理かな。後でちゃんと人間の医者にかかりなさい。
Her cold fingertips part from my skin.
眠っちゃったシキ。
Yeah, I am. It's been a while since I've slept so soundly, without a whiff of fear.
しょうがないな。シキの家って坂の上の屋敷でしょ。なんとか送り届けてあげる。
Yeah, just, you know, dump us on the doorstep and hit the doorbell. Isui will drag us in. In my sleep, I only see the white moon.
お疲れ様シキ。それとありがとう。今夜はあなたのおかげで助かっちゃった。
Yeah, we'll really have to do this again sometimes. Words of gratitude float about weightlessly. I can't hear her voice anymore. Finally, without anything else to intervene, I fall into the deepest of sleeps. Some of the best sleeps I've ever had has been when I was like horrifically fucking ill, like on the verge of death. And, you know, I finally get somewhere to the ER where they can just pump me full of drugs and like a nice cold IV drip. Like, I'm a freak. I enjoy feeling my body temperature drop due to the like cold saline drip. Mainly because, you know, normally when I get it, it's like, oh, I've been burning up from like a fever of 104 for like 3 days, and I don't know what being human feels like anymore. So getting that and one, you know, getting hydrated, because usually then if you're in that condition, you're fucking puking and, you know, shooting goo from every orifice in your body and sweating constantly. So, you know, you have nothing left. You're like dry as a bone, you know, left out in the desert. So one, getting moisture in you feels good. Two, getting your core temperature dropped feels amazing. And three, they can put like liquid Tylenol in there and stuff to kind of like ease the throbbing and just kind of general pain. Oh, it's great. I fucking love saline drips. A few hours after the blaze outside the station, while the fire raged, firefighters on the scene reported it would take 2 full days to put it out. However, around midnight, the fire died down and was fully extinguished soon after. An officer dispatched to the location said it was as if a living creature had decided to up and leave.
国道305までの交通規制は明朝
Hello,
5時までに
mysterious
解除。
looking church man.
高速道路は先ほど規制を解除したとのことです。こちらも現場に残っていた使途の痕跡処理を完了しました。警視庁に向かわれますか、マリオ様。
Mm-hmm.
行きたかねえが仕
And
方ね
Mario's a
え。
father?
この
Alright,
規模の騒
sure.
ぎはうちでもそうはねえからな。ジジイの名前だけじゃ収まりはつかねえだろう。俺も出向いて誠意ってもんを見せないとな。
Mm-hmm.
では、私も同行いたします。
Yeah, you might have to, like, go to the Vatican for this one.
現場の指揮は例の代行者に委任しますか。
ああ、なぜか潜入捜査してたあいつらか。
Oh, you know, what's her name?
ツーマンセルなんだよな。
Mhm.
下っ端の方は俺のホテルに呼びつけて待機させとけ。使い道があれば使う。
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure CL was a cover name, but I can't actually remember what her real name would have been.
あっちの方はできるだけ早く本国に帰らせろ。セオナトールをつっつけばすぐに動く。
かしこまりました。ノイ司祭にラウレンティス様の名義で抗議文をお送りします。
Mm-hmm.
ああ、
Fun church politics.
こ
My
こで
favorite.
の仕事は大体終わった。現場の後処理は誰にやらせてもいいんだが。
Yeah, just get it done. shit's already fucked.
おい安藤。
お呼びですか、坊ちゃん。いやー、着任早々ついてないっすね。こんなんガス爆発でごまかすとか無理ですわ。どっかのテロ組織に声明でも出してもらえます？
そっちはいらねえ。対外的な処理はここの持ち主に押し付ける。叩けば埃が出そうだからな。
Fucking eat shit, Akia.
俺たちの仕事はここにあるとまずいものの回収だ。使徒の痕跡はあらかた拭ったが、被害者の処理にまだ不満がある。お前やっとけ。
Yeah, when they find bodies, like, oh, weird. It's like they were torn apart and eaten alive by other people. That's strange.
了解。って待って。坊ちゃんがいつも連れてる大部隊、まだ入国してませんよね。もしかして俺だけで遺体を全部チェックして、噛まれたかもしれないなりかけを見つけ出せと？
What you're paid to do.
見つけ出すだけじゃねえぞ。生きているなら教会に送れ。死んでいるならもう一度殺してやれ。
Gotcha.
そういうドブさらいが嫌になったから坊ちゃんに雇ってもらったんですけどね。
Yeah, you know, they're still kicking. Just send them to the church, you know, get a little hypnosis done on them, have them forget everything.
急げ。遺体の安置所には人払いをさせておく。貴様なら夜明けまでに済むはずだ。
動かない標的に引き金を引くだけのお仕事ですし、精神的な負担を無視すればの話ですけどね。
Yeah, nice and easy like that.
車を回せカリウス。お役所回りを始めるぞ。
はい、すぐに。その他手配は必要ですか？この規模の汚染であれば応援の要請もすぐに。
Yeah, I doubt, you know, the fucking 5 guys you have with you or something gonna be enough for this.
その必要はね。つうか絶対知らせるの。この件はここだけで片付ける。
Don't report it at all.
しばらくは情報収集だ。これでも正義の味方だからな。いたずらに犠牲は増やせない。誰が敵で誰が邪魔者か。きっちり当たりをつけなくちゃな。
You see, people, the ones who loudly proclaim that our cause is just tend not to be maybe the most just ones in the world. Just saying. Yeah, we'll save. Why not? Oh, hey, Arc. So we're fully on the Arc route now, which is obvious. Because, you know, we haven't fucking talked to CL since, like, day 2. And even then, we've been avoiding her like the plague. Day 6. Yeah, that's great, Shiki. But you see, we're actually gonna load and go back and read those dead ends because trying to get all the fucking CL Sensei's shit. So we'll go through them. You know, they seem like pretty quick ones. Like I doubt they're gonna say much, but we'll hit our CL Senseis and then stop for the day. So if you don't care about seeing those, you're good to tap out here. So all right, let's get on in. Throwing. More accurately, turning me into a human cannonball. The vampire may be on guard now, but I still remain an all too deadly weapon. That just leaves the question of how I'll launch myself in his direction. A question with a simple answer. If my legs won't carry me there, I'll just need to depend on some outside help. Quickly run for Arcueid. I hear the sharp noise of ice shattering behind me. Seems the claws of wind she can generate can pinpoint targets even from this far.
もうなんでこっちに来たの？標的が一つになっちゃうじゃない。
No, now you'll throw us and we'll just end up head first on his spike. Working together like this makes this easy game for Blob. I'm well aware of this fact.
分かって。でもこれしかない。 今瓦礫をぶん投げただろ。
Yeah, throw me just like it.
それ俺にもやってくれ。
Yeah, this is the actual fastball special.
はあ
To be precise, I wanted her to throw me with that. That chunk of rock she threw earlier must have been nearly 3 meters across. She could do the same with me on it, and it'd be way faster than I could run.
言いたいことは大体分かったけど、それ途中で振り落とされない？
Yeah, time down, time down.
でも縛るものならいくらでも出せるだろ。お前
そりゃ出せるけど。
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this sounds like a bad idea. Though Arcueid hesitates, this is our only option, except for the other two options. I'll have her tie me to a piece of rubble big enough to hide behind, then throw me towards Vlad. Of course, he'll strike down whatever is thrown his way, which is why Arcueid will hurl 3 boulders. This is already getting too complicated, dude. First one will fly straight for Vlad. The next one will deliberately miss Vlad and aim for his rear. And the last one will target Vlad once more. Naturally, I'll be hiding behind the second, the one that'll skirt around him. Then, just before it hits the ground, I'll cut through the lines on its surface and appear behind Vlad in under 2 seconds flat.
本当にそれでいいの？
Nope.
タイミング逃したら衝突したよ。
逃したらな。うまくいけば無傷で殺せる唯一の手段だ。
This sounds like a bad idea, dude. Icicles only grow in number and ferocity. You don't have any more time to waste.
分かった。グローブを狙いながら式の乗った瓦礫だけ外すのね。
ああ、あいつの横を通り過ぎるくらいでいい。
Sure. I get behind Arcueid. There, I find a nice, large piece of debris to hide behind. I press my hands and feet against the rock, as if I were doing a push-up. Green ivy forms from Arcueid's fingertips, tying me down against the stone. Vines wrap around my thighs, and soon both my legs and left hands are pinned to the stone. The only limb with a measure of freedom is my right hand, which holds the knife.
グローブまで50メートル。さっ
And
き
he's
の
just
があんな
watching
感
you
じだっ
do
た
all
から
this. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Arcueid extends both hands, lifting both the regular rubble and the rock I'm hiding behind into the air.
うん。4秒我慢して。
The stones flying through the air must weigh at least a ton. 3 more seconds. As if stubbornly defying all laws of air resistance, the first piece soars directly for Flov's head. Oh no, next are gonna be the fucking round cows, the perfectly spherical cows. Just before I can find its target, the rock is caught by Flov's lance and splinters into pieces. That's not to say it's completely ineffective. Some of the shattered fragments managed to hit Flov's body. The damage they caused might not be significant, but it'll be enough to briefly draw his attention. Capitalizing on this moment, my rock sails past his right side. I dismantle the rock. It immediately becomes inert, ignoring all laws of momentum. My limbs are free to move now. They find purchase on land, and I stick to the ground like a lizard does a wall. In that instant, both my body and my blood begin to freeze. I can see his back now. Just 4 meters. It'll be tight, but it's not impossible. Loft shatters Arcueid's 3rd boulder. 1 second now. 1 meter to go. Just 2 more steps and I'll be within stabbing range of the lines and end his life. What? It's impossible for a human to take those 2 final steps. Oof! Owie, my bones! I can't scream. Or can I feel any pain? I'm frozen head to toe. Did he realize I was coming? Or is it simply out of reflex? Countless thorns of ice spring up around Vlav to intercept my advance.
愚かにも安全を拾ったな。
Yeah, you should have gone fucking apeshit. Sounds disappointed. Safe? Right, safe. I was too concerned over finding a way to stay alive. Arcueid was worried about my safety, and because of that, she threw my rock just a little slower than the other two. Such an idiot. I really fucked up. Can't even call it a surprise attack when it's so transparent. Luckily, I don't have to wait to bleed to death. Between Vlav's cowl of cold and my own bitter disappointment, my heart has already stopped beating. Womp womp womp. Womp. So, that was like option number 2, like if we're ranking the 3, taking flight because we've already determined, cold air settles on the ground, so going from above is the best choice. Throwing, a little hard to guess what that meant, but this is the whole get behind him, stay on the ground thing. What's pulling? Just like Arc grabs the whole fucking ground and just yanks it towards her, like he's on a fucking treadmill. Like I don't really know what it means by pulling, or she's just like makes a little lasso out of vines and like, haha, I'll throw it around you and just pull you over, and then we'll fucking gut you like a fish when you're on the ground flopping. Yeah, dubious hint number 5. Could be like, ooh, so close. Yep, teach us, Miss CL.
どこにしまったかにゃ。必要なのは何だったかにゃ。いつかどこかでポチったんだけどにゃ。間違えて3つくらい同じの食ったんだけどにゃ。
And that would be?
まあいいや。いらないものは全部バイ。にゃはは。捨てろ捨てろ。ついでに主人公人形もパイ。ルフィ、決まってきた。
Yep, the endorphins, baby.
待って待って、それを捨てるなんてとんでもない。
Because they're junk.
え？あ、やべ。
Yeah, look at it. It's the old design. Clearly garbage. Out with fucking yesterday's fucking recycling. Must have been some cheap made in China crap. Look how it's splintered. Bad stitching.
幸いぬいぐるみのようですので問題はないかと。そうがにゃ。何やら運命を感じさせるシンクロニシティ。これはもしや主人公はかっこよく射出されて飛び散る、という暗示なのでは。まさか。いくら遠野くんでもそんな無謀な作戦は。
Yeah, totally.
作戦は。立ててますね。大胆というか命知らずというか。
Look, you can't really say that when it's like 85% the same as the previous plan that
なっ
actually
ちまえば
worked.
いいんだよ、ミサイルに。その行きは良かったんだけどにゃ。縦軸と横軸の問題をクリアできなかったのが敗因ですかな。
Yeah, like I said.
ここの選択は全て無理めなプランですから、難易度自体はどれも大差ないかもですね。すぐに直前の選択肢に戻って、
taking
もう一
flight
度
and
これ
throwing
はと思う手段をお選びください。
are just like different versions of the same thing. I have no idea what pulling means.
グロ
Yeah,
ーブ
see if
戦も
any
い
of
よい
them
よクライマッ
jump
ク
out
ス。
at you.
戦いは常に頭上を取るものですよ。
Yeah, thanks, CL. All right. We'll hit up that last one, and then we'll call it. I still don't know what it means by pulling. Pulling? Our only option. And quite a brilliant one if I do say so myself. He won't let us get close to him. we'll just have to bring him to us. It's not something I can pull off by myself. As long as Arcueid still has enough power, we can do this. I quickly run for Arcueid. Yeah, slash. I hear the sharp noise of ice shattering behind me. Seems that the wind pressure she generates with the claw is accurate enough even at this distance.
どうしてこっちに来ちゃったのシキ？なんかすごくと。
説明は後だ。いいから
Oh,
あれ
he's
やっ
like,
てくれ。
oh, wait till you hear this plan, Arc. Really knock your
グロー
socks
ブを
off.
捕まえたっつった。
Fucking fine lasso. We're too short on time. I shot at her while gesturing what I want her to do to capture him again.
この距離で？危ない危ない。
投げ縄の要領でなんとか。
Oh, jeez, I was joking about the lasso.
はあ？ああ、もうよくわかんないけど捕まえればいいのね。
Arcueid might not have understood fully, but perhaps she sensed the desperation of my voice. She shoots her hand towards Vlav. Thanks for making this one quick, because they're like, you dumb motherfucker, whoever chose this one. Get back there as soon as possible and make a better choice.
でもこれからどうするの？
And now you yank him.
白い。
Reel him in.
全力で引っ張ってくれ。
I'll just hold my knife out in front of me and they'll fall right into it. I assume that if Arcueid could throw a rubble with such velocity, she should be able to reel in Vlav just as fast. A lot faster than I can run at any rate. The only question is how well Vlav will be able to resist the pull. No way he'll be willing to concede the distance between us. He's sure to resist Arcueid's pull every step of the way. Tug of war between the two vampires. The weaker one will be drawn to the other side. Then, the black cloaked figure standing 50 meters away vanishes, reappearing right in front of me faster than I could possibly react. There's no safe zone left. It wasn't that Vlav didn't want to approach us, he just didn't have the energy to do so. And here we've given the tailwinds he needed. Ow. A massive object pierces through my chest. I cough up my final breath.
狩りの基本も知らないのか。縄をかけるのは獲物を仕留めた後だろう。
Womp womp. The hunter sounds gravely disappointed. What a disgrace. Didn't even get a chance to do anything. Just jumped on the first bird brain scheme I managed to hatch. Damn it. What a fitting end for an idiot no smarter than a stray mutt. Ooh, CL's not gonna be happy about this one. Yep, hit us with it. I really don't think you need to teach us much on this one, Teach.
OS、OS、OS と。O と S のボタンを打ち続けて早20時間。こんだけ打っておけば何らかのアプリも完成すんだろ。仕事明けのコーヒーはたまらん。
Cup of who?
雰囲気だけで仕事をこなしときさえする。さて、今朝のデッドエンドは
Moon Time.
ほほう、敵との正面衝突ですか。メガネ君はあれかな、異世界転生でもしたいのかな。
Oh my god, just getting fucking bowled over by Vlav like a truck. I thought Vlav was just gonna like headbutt us or something. Oh, it's those little round hands are covered in like tiny fingers, like thousands of them.
自分からダンプカーを引き寄せたようなものなので、不注意による事故と言えなくもありません。
Yeah, it didn't look both ways.
ですが、それも一緒にいる吸血鬼の悪影響かと。
Yeah.
ほら、隣にあんなショベルカーみたいなユニットがあるなら使ってみたくなるのが人情と言えるので。どんな人情なんだよ。あとユニット言うな。ヒロインな、ヒロイン。似たようなものでしょう。実際できたわけですし。まったく。
I'm surprised he even used the spear. Like, if you just, like,
ノリで言いなりになるとはあなたらしくない。
just, kind of went rigid, his head would have just fucking caved in Shiki's skull.
ダメージを受けてめまいでも起こしてたんですか？にゃ、単に式に頼られて嬉しかっただけじゃにゃい。
Yeah.
なるほど。馬に蹴られて死んでください。
You ever get kicked by a horse? That shit hurts like
アル
fuck.
クエイドに半分責任があったと見るべきですね。
Taking a blow to the thigh before from a hearse? Yeah, I got fucking run over by a hearse. No, from a horse. Shit sucks, dude. Fucking, especially if they actually have, horseshoes on. No, it's like getting hit by fucking brass knuckles from something that can, actually cave your skull in.
遊んでいる暇はありません。クライマックスは目前です。次はアルケードで最大限離れるような決着手段を選んでみましょう。
What we were supposed to do first, so that way we could save all this stupid fucking bullshit dead ends like this for afterwards, a little bonus epilogue kind of thing.
嫌ですね。やりませんよ。そんな筋力ありませんから。
We'll see about that once we get to seal around, huh? Oh no. Oh no. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we will be ending it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification. We'll see you guys next time for the next episode of Tsukihime Remake, where we will reconvene. Probably waking up in his bedroom, totally, oh, it's just like nothing ever happens. Life goes on. Go back to school, hang out with Arihiko, oh, funny old CL sensei. I mean, senpai. She's senpai there. She's the only sensei in this weird pocket dimension. And that's it. Those are the only people we know at school. No one else. No weird hanger-ons with no personality and no routes. But that's neither here nor there. That's next time. So, I will catch you guys all there later. Bye-bye now.